We are going to touch only briefly on a parameter expansion in this lecture. Let's clear the console first. But we will be covering it extensively later, just to mention that. So it's a feature that is more useful in shell scripts than directly on the command line. So many of its capabilities have to do with the system's ability to store small chunks of data and to give each chunk a name. Many such chunks, more properly called R variables, are available for your examination. So for example, the variable user contains username. To invoke parameter expansion and reveal the contents of user, you should do this: echo $sign and user. And here, as you can see here, I printed my username. So to see a list of available variables, you can also try this: print any v here and less here. We will use less. And as you can see here, we have this system variables, and which is color.fpg. You can, and the home directory is this. Our language log name is Typhoon. Password, oh no, it's actually pwd here. This is the working directory that we are in, and here we have information about that. So let's actually end this here. Oops, here. Exit this, and here with Control Q, or for example, and as you can see, press return log file is already in use, so we are use this log file, and here we are going to exit it now with Control Z. So you may have noticed that with other types of expansion, and as you can see, we have our current working directory is pwd, so we're gonna clear and cd here, and again cd. Let's go home here and ls, and as you can see, we are in the home here. So as I said, if you notice with other types of expansion, if you mistype a pattern, the expansion will not take place, and the echo command will simply display the mistyped pattern. So with parameter expansion, if you misspell the name of variable, the expansion will still take place, but will result in an empty string. So for example, this. So as you remember, in previous minutes of our lecture, we printed our username with user, but if we write it like that, echo suyer here, or yeah, suyer, so actually it's a misspelled type of the user, and as you can see here, we got nothing as an error, and it's just a new line. So you will also learn about the command substitution in this lecture. So command substitution allows us to the output of a command as an expansion. So in order to do that, we will echo, and here inside the braces we will use ls, and here, and as you can see, we got this command here. So, and one of my favorites is this here, which and cp, and as you can see here, we got this. So here we pass the results of which cp as an argument to the ls command, thereby getting the list of the cp program without to know its full path name. So we are not limited just to simple commands. Entire pipelines can be used for example and working with it. We also have the cool thing here. So now that we have seen how many ways the shell can perform expansions, it's time to learn how we can control it. So take for example this echo. This is Auxily, and oops, not like this. Oh, this is Auxily Academy, and as you can see here, this ignored all of these spaces here. And you can also do, for example, echo the total price is, for example, $100, and here, and as you can see here, the total price is 0. So in this first example with this, word splitting by the shell removed extra white space from the echo command. And the echo command's list of arguments. So in the second example, parameter expansion substitute an empty string for the value of $100 because it was an undefined variable. So the shell provides a mechanism called quoting to selectively suppress the unwanted expressions here. We also have the double quotes here. So the first type of quoting we will look at is double quotes. If you place text inside the double quotes, all the special characters used by the shell lose their special meaning and are treated as our ordinary characters. So the expressions are $sign and backslash and backtick here. Backtick. So this means that the word splitting, path-name expansion, tiled expansion, and brace expansions are suppressed in this case. However, parameter expansion, arithmetic expansion, and command substitution are still carried out. Using double quotes, we can cope with file names containing embedded spaces. Let's say we were the unfortunate victim of a file called this two words.txt here. If we try to use this on the command line, we are word splitting would line called the two words.txt, and if you try to use this on a command, word splitting will cause this to be treated as the two arguments rather than the desired single argument. So for example, I want to create a new file, for example, touch my file without question mark or something, and here ls, and as you can see we created my file, which now if we write it like that, for example ls l my file.txt, this will take as a two arguments, but we, in order to access this my file, we will use double quotes for accessing this here, and as you can see here we accessed to my file here. So there, and as you can see, now we don't have to keep tying those pesky double quotes. So remember, parameter expansions, arithmetic expansions, and command substitution still take place within the double quotes. For example, look at this. So echo, and here we will do double quotes. So inside this double quotes, we will user and $2 +2 2 + 2, and after that we will use $, and after that we will call calendar. So this call is actually calendar, which we will show us, and calendar is actually not installed. So let's actually install calendar. So sudo apt install ncal, and I don't think it will take much time because I think it's just here Kali. And here this is just a 69 kilobytes of file size, and it's already installed here. So now let's clear our files, clear, and use previous here, and as you can see here we got calendar on it on the screen. So we shall take a moment to look at the effect of double quotes on command substitutions. So first let's look a little deeper at how word splitting works. In earlier lectures, we saw how word splitting appears to remove extra spaces of in our text. For example, this is auxiliary, and here academy, and as you can see here, it just ignored our text. So by default, the word splitting looks for the presence of a space, tabs, and new lines in line feed characters, and treats them as delimiters between words. So this means unquoted space, tabs, and new lines are not considered to be part of the text. So they serve only as separators because they separate the words into different arguments. Our example command, the line, contains a command followed by 4 distinct arguments. If we add like this, for example, add the quotation marks in the start of the end of the line, and as you can see here, it is not ignoring our new lines or spaces as it did in our previous example.